Yes, we've done it. We've gone off the beaten track and sampled some urban e-biking. Did we like it? Well, you can find out in the next hour.
Yeah, and with holiday season fast approaching, we're looking at how you can take your loved one, your e-bike that is, on holiday too.
Ooh. Now, urban e-bikes have become increasingly prevalent over the last few years. In fact, they're very popular in many cities worldwide. Earlier this year, I was in San Francisco and I tried out a scheme by Uber, which you might be familiar with a taxi service. Now, they've got some bikes called JumpBikes, which are rental bikes in the downtown city of San Francisco. It's not the only place. There's a recent scheme started up in Islington, North London, but other countries worldwide, such as Brussels, Lisbon, Berlin, and Paris. But I think the question here, Chris, is that are e-city bikes going to whet people's appetite for maybe something a bit more adventurous off-road? I mean,
yeah, I think definitely you're going to get these people out of the city trying out those bikes, you know, on the pavements and the roads around towns, and then taking that experience out to the city, you know, going back to their family and talking about how great these bikes are and be like, yeah, let's give them a go. And then you've got their partner on it, then you've got their kids on it, then you're going to see that whole family getting out to the woods and, you know, experiencing the true outdoors. I think it's a definite key, you know, key to the outdoors.
Yeah, because, you know, that's where the population is. That's where the growth maybe of e-mountain biking will take place in the future by people living in cities buying e-mountain bikes, taking them outdoors. But I think there's another side to this story, and that is the way that the Uber e-bikes are rented out. Now, there's going to be a video which I'm going to show you later on in the show about Uber in San Francisco. But if you think about it, it's a great system. You simply get the app on your phone.
Yeah.
You turn up, you find the bike, rent it out, and off you go for, I think it's like 12 pence per mile, I think.
Is it?
That's
pretty
like
cheap
that.
day out then if you're out for a day on those.
It really is a cheap ride. So I'm thinking you look at maybe, say, trail centres in Europe. A lot of them were made 20 years ago. Some people got bored of them, but it's a great place, I think. Smooth trails, maybe hard tails. I mean, it could be full suspension as well.
Yeah.
Whereas you turn up at the trailhead and you simply clock in, take your e-mountain bike out and go for a spin.
I think definitely the trails will need to cater for those sort of first people's experience from going from the city to an off-road situation. So as you say, like those nice smooth trails.
Like the blue trails or
exactly.
green trails?
Well, maybe even more basic than that. I think big wide trails with no massive climbs or no big descents. That could be key to getting these people in there.
So
really.
like family cycle trails could be the transition between an urban e-bike and a mountain bike, right?
Hopefully, yeah. So that'd get a lot more people to those trail centres. I think a lot of people are actually scared of going to those trail centres because they're thinking, is this going to be too much? Whereas if you had those basic trails, then you could get the numbers in.
It's quite funny that Neil Donahue on GMBN, he actually went to Squamish. Now, Squamish is an incredibly popular mountain bike location near Vancouver. There was actually a woman with a fleet of giant live e-bikes at the trailhead, renting them out.
Really? God.
So, and apparently they were going like hotcakes.
I can imagine. She's been making a killing up there.
Absolutely. So there's obviously the demand there to have these e-mountain bikes. So in the meantime, have a look at what happened when I went to San Francisco and took a spin around the streets.
You on a jump bike in San Francisco?
Absolutely. Loved it.
Way.
The hills and streets of San Francisco can be a pretty tough place to ride a bicycle. However, thanks to Jump e-bike rental, that job can be made a little bit easier. In fact, it's a great way to see in the city. Let's have a look how it works. So, how do you get on one of these jump bike rentals? Well, it's incredibly simple. You get on the app and then you zoom into the area that you're in. As you can see here, we're in downtown San Francisco. And the amount of bikes in this area alone is absolutely ridiculous. Look at all those bikes within about a mile square radius. So, you find your bike. Couldn't find it a minute ago. So, I'm here. Click on that. So this is bike 21482. Here she is down here, look. 21482. So then you just click reserve. Confirm. So this is reserving the bike. So now what I do now is scan to unlock it. The scan is just down here. You simply boom, and then it should unlock. So there you go, it's as easy as that. That took 1 minute 10 seconds to do it. So you just get on your bike, But all you're going to make sure is you don't actually go and lock your bike outside the parking zone, because that'll cost you a lot more money. So I think all we need to do now is go and look at some of the sights of San Francisco. Now the traffic laws here in California are actually 20 miles an hour, which is different to say the 15 mile an hour in the UK, and I gotta say, I don't dislike it. So I just done 20 k's from the city centre through an amazing bit of track. It's pulling off the road here. Wait for it. Boom. Okay, it's time to finish the ride, so back in town. Plug it back in. Now I'm gonna get on my phone and go back to the app. Let's have a look here. So here we are, the app. Okay, so my bike is now locked. I'm gonna press done. Updating my ride. So we have done, so that's cost us $11.94. We've been out for 3 hours and we've done a lot of miles. So we've done 32 kilometers. It's cost us $11.94. I think that is a pretty cool way to have a look around town. Well, I say easy, but when you get to the likes of Peter Macchiarini steps, things can still get pretty tough on these front hub drive bikes. Oh my God. Oh, I tell you what, it'd be good to have the old mid-drive motor out in places like this, because these bikes are a little bit heavy, but that's not what they're meant for. They're meant for the more gradual slopes of this town. Now there are many advantages with a bike such as this, but there's also some disadvantages too. The two of them most important ones are, first of all, you need to make sure you have loads of mobile data on your phone, because this bike is actually app driven. And the second thing is you need to make sure you've got loads of battery in your phone, because if you flatten it, then you're not going to be able to hire another bike or such things as that. And as we found here in San Francisco, stores such as Starbucks, you can't charge your phone up there because they've done away with the plug sockets. And one final thing actually is you can't really go up crazy steep hills. But then again, you don't really get many hills like this in cities.
Now, I never thought I'd see you on a jump bike, Steve, let alone shredding the streets of Francisco, but I didn't see any jumps there. Where were they?
Well, there were no jumps. Now, bear in mind, I was actually on holiday when I shot that video, and it was strictly a shopping trip and sightseeing around the streets. So I was definitely not working when I shot that video.
Jump bikes got me all excited.
They were good fun. They were definitely good fun.
But more importantly, we want to know what you guys are up to on your holidays. Are you going to be taking your e-bikes with you, or are you going on a big adventure? Where are you off to? Drop us some comments in the box below about all your e-bike adventures.
Yeah, because next week we're going to have a special on bucket lists and e-biking. Where are you going to go? So, like Chris said, it could be a mega big day adventure, could be a 2-day adventure, could be a week adventure. You could be sleeping in 5-star, you could be sleeping in a field. Who knows what you could be doing. What we want to know is where you guys are taking your e-mountain bikes for your summer holidays. Now, I know some of you might be living in the southern hemisphere, where it's going into, where is it, coming in spring, or is it going into winter? I think it's coming into spring, isn't it, southern hemisphere now?
No idea.
We want to know. We want to know where you're taking your loved one this summer.
And don't forget to take any pictures and videos as well. Use the upload service, because we love seeing where you've been on your e-bikes on the EMBN.
Now, on the weekend, saw one of the biggest mountain bike events in the world take place. That was the World Cup Downhill in Liège, France. But not too far away was probably one of the most famous mountain bike races, the Megavalanche, where over 1,000 bike riders go for a ride off the summit of a mountain down a glacier, basically. But the last few years, there's been an e-bike category, right?
Yeah, definitely. We've had Ben Moore has been out there. He rode to 6th place in the final, so a pretty good result for Ben. He recorded all this footage from there, and it looks pretty epic.
So I think we missed out there. We should have gone to that.
I don't know why we weren't there. I've liked to have done it. You've done it before. I've done it once before, but I've never done it on an e-bike, and I reckon that would be the event. You know, I'd definitely love to go on an e-bike. I think so, because there was not so much climbing this year, it's more gravity oriented. Yeah. I think that levels things up. However, you did, I see in your notes about de-restricted e-bikes. Yeah,
is that true?
Questionable bikes. I know Ben's a real fit rider, and he was sort of pedaling flat out through this field, and there's some bikes just cruising past him. You know, a few bikes. Yeah, so apparently they were going to be really tight on the dongles and de-restriction, but it doesn't look like there's any checking going on. And
we're not for 1 minute saying or naming people that were cheating at this event, but we're just saying that it could have happened, right?
Yeah, it's just a bit disappointing, I think. If you're training to go above that 25 kph limit and you've got riders that are simply going past on a de-restricted bike, then I think things definitely need to tighten up, especially in that sort of level of competition. It's quite a high level.
Well, this is the danger with e-bike racing, Chris.
What can you do? I think de-restricted or a restricted bike test would sort that out.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the restriction, I think you just need to be 50 kilos and be able to smoke it.
Super fit.
So the final saw some incredibly talented athletes take the podium. In 3rd place was that famous Frenchman, Remy Absalon, riding for Scott.
2nd place, Marco Widmer.
Yeah, well. And then Stefan Peter taking the win in the Megavalanche. Nice one, Stefan. We'll be over next year. Now, continuing our theme of bikes with the new Bosch 4th generation motor, a couple of weeks ago, KTM launched the new Macina Prowler. What was that, Macina, I think. Macina Prowler.
But it does look good, doesn't it?
It does. 180mm travel fork up front, 170mm travel, 29-inch wheel up front, 27.5 at the rear, 5 sizes. But get this, carbon front end, the top of the range. The Sonic comes in at €9,999.
Nice.
But it's not just carbon front end and with a motor and battery. It also has the new SRAM AXS group set on it.
So you pretty much couldn't wish for any better parts on that bike then. It pretty much sounds like a dream bike.
Primo bike. A couple of the geometry numbers, which are obviously as important as the motor. 442mm chainstays, 489mm reach for the size large, which means that if you're over 6 foot and you can go for the XL, which is even bigger, that's going to be bang on the numbers. But Chris, what does it for me is how they've got the motor and the battery. It is that interface there is super slick, and you can see how the motor and the battery blends into one. And I've seen some of the new 4th generation Bosch bikes being a little bit lumpy in that area, but the transition there is super smooth, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what we've seen a lot with the new Bosch battery and motor. Is the cleanliness now of the down tubes is definitely turning towards the right way.
Yeah, 625 watt-hour battery.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be on many people's shopping list over the next few months. Now, obviously, not all of you guys have got 10,000 euros to spend on an e-mountain bike. And one of our last week's shows had a question actually from someone who was asking about the L-Joy Revolution bike. Now, this comes with 2 different options, but I said in my comments that you should go for the 500 watt-hour. But as an introduction e-mountain bike, Chris, I think it's obviously a hub drive. I think it's super neat. Yeah. It's going to take you to loads of places. And you know, as we mentioned earlier, that transition between an e-bike and an e-mountain bike, that bike ticks all the boxes.
Bang on for the money, for sure. Yeah. Seeing as you're going off the beaten track, Steve, I've spotted this one. It's the Bird electric city bike. Now, this could be the future of transportation in the city, in my eyes.
Taking the Bird for a spin?
Taking the Bird. It kind of reminds me of like a Honda, like the old moped. Literally just with a battery on it.
Going out for a ride on the Bird?
Foot pegs.
There's no end of things you can do on the Bird, is there? Really?
Now, a really good way of supporting the channel is by checking out the EMBN shop. We've got loads of cool stuff on there. Wine t-shirts.
Wine shirts.
Blue t-shirts.
Blue shirts. Yeah.
Loads of cool merchandise on the EMBN shop, so be sure to check that out.
Before they get out of stock, because I tried to get one of these earlier and they were out of stock my size.
Really?
I was gutted, absolutely gutted. Love the wine colour t-shirt.
I always love a bit of wine.
Me too. Now, I had these pictures in from my old mucker, Jeff Waugh. famous World Cup downhill and cross-country photographer. He's got some pictures here she's sent in about a Cannondale Moterra, which has had some treatment by...
Al at Fatcreations. Well, I think it's his own personal bike. And
This is Al's bike, right?
Yeah, this is his own bike. And this is looking pretty good as well. It's like a camo effect, but like a brush.
It's not like a camo, it is a camo.
Yeah, it was kind of like worn as well. And he's got the old school Cannondale graphics on there. I think it makes, you know, even the forks will match every single thing. Forks, crown.
I like it.
Looks pretty cool, doesn't it?
I like it a lot.
Especially his reflections and stuff.
I like it a lot.
And he's saying that e-bike's best thing that's happened to him. He's had a few problems, I think, with a heart attack recently. So he's getting back into it. And that's been a massive help for him. So good things for e-bike.
Cool. Hope you're on the road to recovery, Al.
Now it's time for climb of the week, and this is actually trip of the week now. It looks like Ian's been pretty busy on his Kenevo. He basically took a Monday off of work.
It's Troy Lee Kenevo.
Yeah, Troy Lee designs one, so it looks pretty special as well. He's been to Antistiniog in the morning and did 10 downhill runs there.
That's pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive, but he slashed his tyre on his final run. And instead of just going back to his van to fix the tyre and carrying on there, he decided that he's going to go on a ride up to Snowdon.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So, hold on, so he does Antistiniog in the morning and there's Snowdon in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Now Snowdon is a pretty big undertaking because he says there he went up the Llanberis Path, which is up the east side, and then down Ranger, which is on the west side.
Yeah.
Then he's going to get back again.
Yeah.
That's a big, I mean,
big bit of road.
we went down Ranger. That's a pretty involved trip, that is.
After a few runs in the morning, you imagine doing that? All those runs in the morning and that.
You're a fit guy, and then not only that, you went and did something else, right?
Yeah, he stayed in his van overnight, kept in his van at the Matarin Trail.
Yeah.
Whereabouts is that?
That's in Bedwars-y-Coed.
There you go, and did a lap of that in the morning, then headed home. So pretty epic 24 hours by the sound of it.
Do you reminds me of Bedwars-y-Coed?
What's that?
You farting up the stairs.
Do you remember? Oh yeah, just as we went to bed. That was disgusting, Steve. Mentally scarred me for the rest of my life.
But seriously, that is hats off to you. As a climb of the week, that is probably one of the best climbs of the week we've seen on EMBN, right? And we want to know more of these adventures you guys go on. Send in pictures just like we've got here, and if you can beat that, hats off to you. Right, it is time for Ghetto Tech. Now, before we actually go into the details, I just want to point out to Squirrel Squeezer, who said that I should comb my hair. I've actually had a haircut.
You have, haven't you? Looking pretty slick.
So I hope this is up to your expectations, Squirrel Squeezer. In the meantime, Chris has got some proper Ghetto Tech.
Yeah, Neil's been pretty busy with his 3D printer. And when you're transporting your e-bike, Steve, did you know you're meant to remove the battery? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Well, especially if you get in an accident, they're meant to be nice and safely stored away in the car. And this little cap, what he's made on his 3D printer, just goes over the contact, stops all the grime and road stuff and that getting on it, so making it all dirty. Pretty cool. I'd love a 3D printer. So
you actually take your battery out then when you're transporting your e-bike, right?
No.
Right. Just as long as I got that straight.
So in the comments this week, Steve, we had a lot of feedback about last week's show about motors. Brian Little, he's on about, I'd like to see e-bike motors being backwards compatible with older motors so you can upgrade without changing the bike. So that's pretty good.
It's a good, yeah, I can see that train of thought.
Well,
I can't see it happening though, I'm afraid, Brian.
A universal mount.
In the same way, as we've gone from axles from 135 to 142 to 150, I mean, it'll keep on changing.
Yeah.
Bobby was at Llandegla, which for those of you who don't live in the UK, that's in North Wales. Particularly wet part of North Wales.
It's all wet, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Was at Llandegla today and listening to a group of 5 young lads on high-end bikes, all agreeing that an e-mountain bike will be their next purchase.
Nice, we've shown them the light, finally. And Zweezel66 is saying, this dog is perfect for carrying a spare battery.
Yeah, but you got to be careful the dog can go the distance and gets plenty of water.
It's time for Where in the World, Steve. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Spin that globe.
Spin the globe.
We are heading not too far. We're up in Dalbeattie in Scotland.
Yeah.
To the Seven Stains Trail. This is in from Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah, he's got a dog. Bob as a dog.
And the dog has got a harness. So hold on, is Bob
Hamish dog.
is Bob sticking the dog called Hamish in the harness into a backpack on the bike?
Looks like you can either carry it in the front or the rear of the bike, depending on how gnarly the trail is.
Stick it in the front or the back. Yeah. Poor old dog. Hope you go on smooth trails there, Bob. Oh my God, where's that?
This is a bike park in Little Italy Loop in Lantu Highland, Hong Kong.
Oh my God.
Look at that. Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Good?
Riding bike park.
Good?
Inspired by EMBN with limited success. Look at that. It's cool, isn't it?
That is mega. Absolutely mega. Oh, look at that!
Whoa, this is some Gary.
Whoa.
Old hidden
Gaza in Queensland, Australia.
Clouds opened up for about 15 minutes, making the tracks unrideable after all that rain.
Look at that on his Merida 160, it looks, isn't it? Amazing.
Lastly, yeah, this is in from Martin, pretty close to home, Wiltshire.
Down Marlborough.
On the Marlborough Downs.
Yeah.
Look at these rock formations as well. Really struggled to find this place. I'm guessing it's out near Stonehenge, places like that. All the big stone circles.
The question is, how did the rock get there? Probably Bob.
Bob and his Hamish the dog.
That's it. Send us your pictures in from where in the world. That was a particularly good selection there, Chris. Hong Kong, Queensland,
Marlborough Downs,
Marlborough, Scotland.
You name it.
Dogs, rocks, all kinds of bikes. Love it.
What's coming up on the channel this week then, Steve?
Well, on Sunday and Saturday, we've got a special visitor on EMBN in the form of a rat.
Rat on a bike.
Otherwise known as Josh Bryceland. So be sure to tune in for that.
Definitely will do.
Absolutely mega stuff.
And on Friday, we got a cool video how to buy an e-mounted bike as well, online, things like that. So
online, direct sales, independent bike shop, chain store, you name it, we've got it covered. And the mechanics on how to buy your first or indeed your second e-mountain bike, or third, or fourth, however many. It's on Friday.
It is time for my favourite part of the show. It's the bike vault.
The bike vault. What have we got? First in, Cannondale.
Cannondale Cujo Neo.
From Finland.
From Harry.
Loving the trail. Loving the trail. It's a bit wide angle. Come on,
I like that.
It's nice. It's nice.
Nice.
Yep.
Next up, this is Mark.
A brace of Levos, or is that a brace of Canevos?
Canevos.
With spare batteries.
Yeah, both got spare batteries on there as well.
And triple clamp forks.
Fronton Woods in Northumberland.
Ooh, it's a bit dark. It's a nice. It's a nice.
This one in from Alistair on his Mondraker Level R. They've just released some new ones.
That's in Dunkeld, Scotland. I have to say that's super nice, right?
Super nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think so. Whoa.
This one
my God!
Don on a Specialized Levo comp.
Oh, and Gunsight Ridge in Mount Hood, which is in Oregon. That is a hell of a place. Now, do you know, I've heard that there's increasing numbers of e-mountain bikes in that part of the world.
Really?
Anyway.
He's 63 years old, this guy as well, so getting out there.
Come on, it's an easy one. It's an easy
Super
one.
nice.
Super nice.
Whoa.
Oh, that's quite different. Look at that. Liking the forks. Yeah, I do like that a lot, actually.
Love a bit of pink.
Yeah.
Rob, 29 Focus Jam 29er.
Can't see where it is though. No location.
No location.
But it's by Rob.
It looks
I
English.
really like
It looks
that.
British.
I really like that. What do you reckon?
Super nice.
Oh, crikey.
Whoa, this is Alan here with his Mondraker Crafty. He's in Hong Kong.
No, obviously Alan featured on Where in the World a few minutes ago on EMBN. So, and rightly so, I think he should go for a bike vault picture as well. I think there's only one way that's going to go, Chris.
Gotta be.
So Mondraker gets a double super nice on this week's show.
Oh, look at this one. Andrew here is High Bike Hard 7 S-Dura 8.
And the Devil's Punch Bowl, sorry, Beachtree's the Punch Bowl, which I think is in the southeast of England.
Just had a hip replacement 7 weeks after getting back into it on the e-bike. I like that shot.
I like it a lot. I think super nice. Yeah.
This one in from Wiley, and he's in Weed in California, USA.
Weed in California. Come on, Wiley. That's not this time of year. Surely that's gonna be shot in the winter. But chilling encounter. It's lovely. It's nice.
It's nice. This one in from Jeff. This is Scott E Genius 920 and Bunya, Australia.
Bunya and Weed. Classic name for a series, isn't it? Bunya and Weed. It's nice.
Nice.
Josh, stop laughing.
And finally, this is the last shot from Ambrose on his Commensal Power 29er.
Boom. New South Wales. Yeah, gotta be.
Gotta be.
Bang.
Super nice.
And that is it. We are out of the bike vault. I think the quality of images are actually improving on the EMBN Bike Vault, and the number of locations you guys are getting to is actually pretty mind-blowing, as we can see here in this last shot from New South Wales. So make sure you get your images to the uploader, which is in the link underneath here. Send us snaps over.
Could be you on next week's show.
Will be you. Now, if you're to stay with us, don't forget to tune into a video I did with Hank over on GCN, which was e-mountain bike versus road bike in a lunch hour. It does get a little bit dicey on occasion.
It's a little bit wet as well. It's a really cool video, that one. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed the show, make sure you click the globe in the middle of us to subscribe to EMBN. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Drop some comments in the box below. Don't forget, as I say, if you've got a question for us, hashtag #AskEMBN for our Tuesday show. Ask your question down below and we'll answer it.
But remember, next week's show is going to be about summer holidays, so send us in what you're going to be doing.
To the uploader.